Cindy sat there, her legs crossed, eyes glimmering with mischief as if she had discovered a hidden treasure. Except apparently that treasure was sitting on my bed, which is Kai. She stood and walked closer, almost gliding, her gaze locked on him. "So, your name is Kai, right?" she asked softly, tilting her head. Kai shifted uncomfortably, clearly not interested, but too polite to brush her off. "Yeah," he replied shortly. "What level are you in at university?" she pressed, leaning closer as though every detail about him was suddenly vital to her existence. Kai's face stayed neutral, though his shoulders tightened. He didn't want to be rude, but he wasn't exactly welcoming either. "Final year," he said simply. Something inside me boiled. The way she looked at him, like she owned him, was getting under my skin fast. I cleared my throat loudly. "Cindy, it's late. I want to sleep. So maybe you should give us some quiet." Her eyes snapped to me, her smile dropping for the first time. "I wasn't talking to you," she said sharply. My jaw clenched so hard. "Excuse me?" She turned back to Kai like I wasn't even in the room. The audacity. In my own house. Kai frowned this time, his voice firmer. "Cindy, it's been a long night. You should probably go get some rest. I want to sleep too." For a second she looked disappointed. But then her lips curled into a playful smirk. "All right, handsome," she said, dragging the word like honey. And with that, she twirled on her heels and walked out like a princess leaving her royal court. The door clicked shut, leaving me fuming. What gave her the nerve? I burst out, pacing. This is my room, my house, and she just strolls in here, ignoring me like I'm invisible, acting like she owns the place? We literally just met her tonight. Kai watched me silently, then sighed and lay back on the bed, his arm thrown over his forehead. "Forget about her, Eric," he said calmly. "She's not worth your energy. Just get some rest." But rest was the last thing on my mind. My head burned with irritation. Not just at Cindy, but at the fact that the way she said handsome was still echoing in my ears. The next morning the Johnsons packed their bags. Mrs. Johnson thanked Eric's father repeatedly, almost bowing as she spoke. "You've been such a blessing to us. We won't forget this kindness," she said. My dad just smiled, his warm and calm nature shining through. Family looks after family. That's how it should be. Kai and myself exchanged looks, silently glad that Cindy and her family were finally leaving. For a while after that, things moved smoothly. School, studies, chores. Everything fell back into place. The little arguments between me and Kai continued, but they were normal compared to the chaos Cindy's presence had brought. But peace didn't last long. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon. I was lying on my bed, headphones on, trying to drown out the world with music. Suddenly, a voice floated in from the sitting room downstairs. A female voice. I frowned, pulled off my headphones and strained my ears. No way, that sounded like Cindy. Then I sat up immediately, heart racing, and tiptoed towards the door. Carefully, I leaned over the railing of the staircase. My suspicion was right. Cindy was sitting prettily on the couch, chatting away with her mum, Mrs. Helen, and Kai's mother. My jaw clenched. I listened closely to their conversation, my blood boiling with every word. "So if you'll allow Cindy to stay here for just 3 days, Mrs. Helen pleaded, "she'll have enough quiet time to study and prepare for her entrance exam. It means a lot to her future." I scoffed under my breath. Cindy's here to cause trouble again. I silently prayed my father would say no, reject them politely, and would put an end to this nightmare. But to my disappointment, my dad leaned forward, smiling. "Of course, Helen. She's welcome. 3 days is nothing. She can stay here comfortably." My heart sank. I almost ran down to object but bit my lip so hard that it hurt. By the time I finally walked into the living room, Cindy was already grinning like she'd won a battle. She shot me a quick glance, her eyes sparkling mischievously. That evening, Kai returned home from his golf practice, towel slung around his neck. I wasted no time breaking the news to him. "Kai, guess who's moving in? For 3 whole days." Kai blinked. "What do you mean?" My voice dropped into sarcasm. "Cindy, of course. My dad said yes to her staying here." Kai froze. His eyes widened in disbelief, then his face twisted in annoyance. "You've got to be kidding me." "I wish I was," I said, paced back and forth. "She's not here to study. She's here to make our lives miserable." Kai rubbed his forehead, visibly stressed. I flopped onto his bed, glaring at the ceiling. Kai sighed heavily, tossing his towel onto the chair. "Well, We don't really have a choice, he said. The air between us grew heavy, the weight of what was coming pressing down like an invisible storm. Cindy's 3-day stay turned the house upside down. From the very first morning, she began parading around in short outfits, sleeveless tops that left little to the imagination. She was always accidentally brushing against Kai in the hallway, leaning a little too close when she asked him questions, or sitting beside him on the couch with her legs crossed in a deliberate way. I noticed every bit of it and it drove me crazy. She's not here to study for sure. I muttered under my breath one evening, watching Cindy lean over Kai's shoulder as he scrolled through his phone. Kai ignored my sarcasm, but deep down he was irritated too. He wasn't blind to Cindy's tactics, and it unsettled him. It all came to a head on the second night. Kai was in the study room reviewing notes when Cindy slipped in quietly. She closed the door behind her, her perfume filling the space. Kai, she said softly, walking closer. Kai looked up. Cindy, what do you want? She smiled, eyes glittering. Don't act like you haven't noticed how much I like you. Before Kai could reply, she leaned in and tried to kiss him. But Kai immediately pulled back, his face stern. Stop, Cindy. Don't do that. Cindy blinked, surprised. Why? Are you scared? Kai stood up, putting distance between them. I'm in a relationship. That's why. Her smile faded, then slowly curved into a sly smirk. A relationship? She tilted her head. With Eric? Kai froze. His heart skipped a beat, his expression betraying him for a moment. Cindy's smirk widened. I knew it. The way you look at him, the way he looks at you. I've been studying you both ever since I came here. Kai swallowed hard. You're imagining things. But Cindy only laughed and reached into her pocket. She pulled out her phone, unlocked it, and turned the screen toward him. Kai's eyes widened. It was a picture of him holding Eric's hand and pecking it. A private moment, one he didn't even realize had been caught. How did you get this? Kai stammered. Cindy winked. I have my ways. The point is, you don't have to lie to me, Kai. I already know. His face paled. Cindy, listen please. Don't tell anyone about this. She slipped the phone back into her pocket and smiled sweetly, almost innocently. Relax, Kai. Your secret's safe, for now. With that, she walked out of the room like a queen who had just won a battle. Kai sat frozen, his chest tight. That night, he pulled me aside in his room and told me everything. My reaction was explosive as my voice rose in disbelief. She tried to kiss you? And then she pulled out a picture of us holding hands? Kai nodded, his expression heavy. I paced the room, running a hand through my hair. Cindy is cunning. She'll want to use that picture to blackmail us, Kai. I know it. Kai clenched his fists, his jaw tight. We can't let her get away with this. We must act fast. My eyes darkened. Then we'll have to be smarter than her. And just like that, the air between us shifted from panic to desperation. Cindy didn't waste time. The next morning, she cornered Kai in the hallway when no one else was around. Her arms folded, her lips curved into a sly smile. Kai. She began sweetly, I've been thinking. That secret of yours? It'll stay safe, if you agree to be my boyfriend. Kai stared at her in disbelief. Are you serious right now? Cindy leaned closer. Completely. You're handsome, smart, and I want you. Say yes, and your little forbidden romance with Eric stays between us. Kai's jaw tightened. No, Cindy, I'm not interested. I already told you, I'm in a relationship. Her smile dropped, her eyes narrowing. You'll regret this. I noticed Kai's tense mood that evening and demanded answers. When Kai told me what Cindy had said, I was upset. From that moment, I became obsessed with getting rid of the picture. I tried everything, asking Kai to distract Cindy while he casually reached for her phone, checking if she left it lying around, even pretending to help her carry things just so he could peek into her bag. But Cindy was always a step ahead, her phone glued to her hand like treasure. Finally, one evening I got my chance. Cindy had left her phone charging in her room while she took a shower. Heart pounding, I slipped in quietly, locking the door behind me. I grabbed the phone and scrolled furiously through her gallery but didn't see anything. I checked her hidden folders, cloud backups. Still nothing. Where the hell did she put it? I muttered, sweat breaking out on my forehead. Just then the bathroom door creaked open. I froze. Cindy walked out, steam rolling behind her, a white towel wrapped snugly around her body. Her hair was damp, clinging to her shoulders. She spotted me immediately, holding her phone in my hands. Instead of anger, she laughed. A low, mocking laugh. You really think I'd be dumb enough to leave it there? She teased, walking slowly toward me. You won't find the picture no matter how hard you try. Because I hid it somewhere you'll never guess. I felt the blood drain from my face. Cindy, please. Delete it. You've had your fun, just delete it already. But Cindy only tilted her head, her smile wicked. No, I won't. Not until Kai agrees to my proposal. Until then, you're both mine to play with. My fists clenched, but I knew I couldn't push further. I shoved the phone back on the bed and stormed out of her room, slamming the door behind me. Back in my own room, I collapsed on the edge of my bed, burying my face in my hands. My mind was spinning, a storm of anger, fear, and frustration. She's going to ruin everything, I whispered to myself. When Cindy finally finished with her exams, a wave of relief washed over me. She was supposed to go home the next day and I couldn't wait to see her leave. The air around the house had been tense, filled with secrets, unspoken words, and the constant fear that she might expose us at any moment. That night, I stayed in my room, pretending to be asleep, but I couldn't stop thinking about what might happen after she left. I heard voices coming from the corridor, Kai's voice, low and uneasy, and then Cindy's sharp, taunting tone. I moved quietly to the door and listened. Just accept me, Kai, she said, her voice dripping with arrogance. Or tomorrow I'll make sure everyone knows what you and Eric have been hiding. There was a long pause before Kai answered. His tone was calm but firm. Then go ahead and tell them, he said. I'm not giving in to your threats. I could almost imagine her eyes widening in disbelief. You'll regret this, she hissed. You have 24 hours to change your mind. Her footsteps echoed down the hall as she stormed away. My heart was racing. I didn't know whether to be proud of Kai for standing up to her or terrified of what she might do next. The next morning, the house was unusually lively. Cindy's parents had come over with bright smiles, carrying good news. We just got the contract, Mr. Johnson exclaimed joyfully. We're flying to Mexico tomorrow morning for the signing. Everyone congratulated them. Cindy was practically glowing, hugging her parents, laughing like nothing evil had ever come from her. She didn't even glance at us. It was as if the whole blackmail drama had never happened. I watched her closely, half expecting her to give me that wicked smirk again. But she didn't. Instead, she looked genuinely excited, maybe too excited to care about us anymore. For the first time in weeks, I allowed myself to breathe freely. When they finally left that evening, the house felt peaceful again. The tension lifted like a dark cloud finally moving away from a sunny sky. I turned to Kai and he smiled, a real genuine smile that I hadn't seen in a long time. She's gone, he said softly, almost in disbelief. Yeah, I replied, feeling the corners of my mouth lift. She's finally out of our lives. After the Johnsons left and Cindy no longer hovering around us, I had more time together with Kai. At first, we played it safe, talking late into the night in my room, sharing jokes and sneaking little touches whenever we were alone. But soon things grew bolder. We began leaving the house at night, telling our parents we were working on getting along by hanging out. Dad and Mrs. Rachel loved it. They thought we were finally becoming real brothers. Little did they know we were slipping into nightclubs and late-night parties, moving under flashing lights, blending in with the crowd where no one would question us. I remember one night, sitting across from Kai in the corner booth of a smoky club. The bass thumped through the floor, colored lights danced over his face and his smile. It was just for me. We clinked our glasses together, pretending it was just another toast between stepbrothers. But the way his eyes held mine, the way time slowed down for a moment, it was everything but brotherly. I leaned back, letting out a soft sigh. I just wish nothing ever comes between us. I admitted, my voice almost lost beneath the music. But sometimes, I'm scared. Scared that one day our secret might get found out. Kai reached across the table, his hand brushing mine under the neon glow. He didn't need to say anything. His warm smile was enough. And so we sat there in the club smiling at each other like nothing else mattered. For that night, at least, it felt like forever. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more BL stories. Thanks for watching.